Hi everyone! Today's video is a look at the recent Waterstones Books for Children prizes. Well, specifically we're going to be looking at the picture book prize, the illustrated books prize. Now these books are aimed at between probably 3 to 7 age range, but like I always say, I think a good picture book can appeal to all ages, so not to rule out a book just because you think it might look a bit too young for you. Don't rule it out. Have a look. Share it maybe with someone younger than you, and you might find that you're pleasantly surprised like I am. So what we were doing in Primary 1 Stirling is we've read the shortlist and we gave scores for different categories. We gave scores for the illustrations, for the story, the characters, and for the setting. And then we worked out an average and gave a percentage score to each book. So we managed to work out what came in 6th place and what came in 1st place. I think like what was really nice is the children, you if you're watching, were able to say what they didn't like about a book as much as what they did like. And I think that's just as important, figuring out what books appeal to you, because then that helps when you're looking for a book. If you know what went before or you know an author, then it can help you to pick up your next read. And obviously the more books you read that you're enjoying, the more you're probably going to read. So interestingly, since we've done this, the Waterstones prize has been announced, and interestingly our 6th place book was actually the Waterstones book winner. So if you've already seen, you'll know what's coming. So our 6th place book is Gretel the Wonder Mammoth by Kim Hilliard. It's a lovely book. It says down here, a story about overcoming anxiety. Gretel gets awfully anxious in our book, and she finds different ways that she needs to help her to feel calm and to feel herself. And the images, like the paintings, are just beautiful. I think this is one of my favourites from the book. I just love a Northern Lights themed picture. I love the colours. So that was Primary 1 Stirling's 6th place choice. Next up, in 5th place, was I Am Not a Prince by Rachel Davis and Beatrix Hatcher. And it says at the bottom, be proud to be yourself. We meet a little frog who doesn't want to do what everyone wants him to do. He doesn't want to become a prince. Let's see, can we see him? There he's there. Saying, no, I don't want to be a prince. So we follow his journey. What does he want? And this book is all about being yourself. And the rainbow colours might give you a little clue. There is a LGBTQIA part element to the book, but it's extremely appropriate for the age range for what it's appealing to. But this came in 5th place for our class. 4th place. What do you see when you look at a tree? This feels much more like a non-fiction book. Sorry, it's by Emma Carlisle. But it's a lovely look at nature, and the illustrations, again, are just absolutely stunning. And it's quite a lyrical way of writing. And we look at what we might see, and there's a little girl that we follow for what she might see when she looks at trees, and when we look at nature, what can we focus on? So that's that. In 3rd place, and it's funny, this is called, The Fairy Garden, and it's written by Georgia Buckthorn, and it's illustrated by Isabella Mazzanti. Now, when I saw the cover to this book, I wasn't immediately attracted to it, but I have to say, like, I fell in love with illustrations. The illustrator has used pencil, clearly colouring in pencil. I wonder if we can see any of the strokes, if I show you that. And like some of the colour palettes on the pages are absolutely gorgeous. And this one comes with an environmental message, but it's just a beautiful story, and we do get to meet some fairies for the garden too. So it's genuinely such a lovely book, but that came 3rd place for our class. This one, The Station Cat by Stephen Houghton. A story of kindness and hope. This book, I was crying while I read the end of the book to the class. It was incredibly emotional, and it's a longer one. There's a lot of writing in it. If you have a look at that page, it's quite a lot for a picture book. So like again, we read it over two reading sessions. and I think this would appeal to children quite far up the school. So I think like if you like an illustrated book, this would be good for you, probably regardless of whatever age you are. But it is very emotional, so make sure you're in the best place for reading an emotional book, because sometimes it can be a wee bit too much, but sometimes it's just what we need. So our winner, if you knew the shortlist, it's obvious. It's The Missing Piece by Jordan Stevens and Beth Susanna. I think this was probably my personal favourite too, but it was the children that scored all the books. I promise I didn't guide them to choose one or the other, and I read it alongside them. I tried not to read them in advance so that I was reacting to the stories, hence why I was crying at the station cat while reading that to them. This book, we meet Sunny, and she loves doing jigsaws. So when the last piece of a special jigsaw Gran gives her is missing, she sets off on a hunt to find it. And it's just a really touching story between Gran and granddaughter, and finding family and friends around that can make our life a little bit more special. So that's our winner. Not Waterstones winner, but it was a really fun experiment to do with a class. Primary 1 Edinburgh are currently reading the books as well, so they will have, I'm sure, a different list of what their favourites were in a different order, but I'm really looking forward to finding out what they choose. It's a great fun way of looking at books, comparing, contrasting, thinking about what we like, what we don't like, and I'm delighted we've got some lovely new books in the school now that we can enjoy together. Thanks for watching.